Hello, and welcome to my show, The Thriving Woman. I am your host, Carmel Austin. Hello, this is Carmel Austin here. I'm really excited that I've started season 2 of The Thriving Woman. And today I have some special guests who are coming on. They are some of the authors from my upcoming book that's going to come out this July. That I'll be interviewing them, we'll be chatting about our book, The Artist Haven, and all the wonderful things that are happening in The Thriving Woman in season 2. So grab a cuppa, or if you're in the car listening, really enjoy it because you'll get an insight of my artists, some of my artists, and what their journey is about. And you'll just get really excited about my book and this collaboration of authors and all the wonderful things that are happening in my life and in their life. So thank you so much for joining into this episode. They'll be up next. Thank you. God bless. I am so excited that I have some of my co-authors with me on this episode. I am just so thrilled that this book is coming together. We have less than a month and it will be out there on Amazon for you to buy as an ebook and support all my amazing authors. Some of us have had the privilege of already sharing a book together, Dear Superwoman, and we got to number 1. My first book, Just Say No, I got that amazing title, and I want all my authors to get to that. So today we're going to be chatting a little bit more about our book, The Artist Haven, and all the wonderful friendships that we are developing along the way. Because, really, that's why I've called it Carmel Austin and Friends Present The Artist Haven, because it has just, become this amazing project of hearts uniting all over the world to share our stories, to encourage each other, and to be able to share that we are artists, we are artistic, we are creative. And today I have Deanne, who's a musician. I have Tim, who's a watercolor artist. We have Dorease, who is multi-talented. She is a photographer like me and doing artwork as well. I have beautiful LaTrina, who has an amazing story to share as well. And she uses her beautiful floral artwork that she puts together. I have Stephaine, who is a multi-talented writer. And she has her and I have become amazing friends. You may have caught the second season, first show, New Beginnings, with her and I. And if you haven't watched it, I encourage you to, because we just had this amazing time chatting about life, friendship, and doing books together. And we've just had beautiful Sarah join us as well. And she's a writer as well, and she's very multi-talented. At the moment, Sarah is doing a live show. So she's been doing lots with that. She did a recording with me and some of our beautiful authors as well in Clubhouse. So she's extremely talented as well. So I'm just so thrilled that we've been able to come on together and be able to chat about the book. So I first am going to give the stage to Tim. So Tim, welcome to my stage and my audience.
Thank you very much. This is wonderful.
So, Tim, I'd like to ask you. I know I follow you on Facebook and I look at all your beautiful work. I know that you teach and you go to art workshops yourself. You have become an amazing portrait uh, painter. What is it that you find when you are doing somebody's portrait and you just get so much detail and expression? I see like it's a reflection of you, Tim. Can you share a little bit with my audience about that and a little bit about what you're going to be sharing in your chapter in our book?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is wonderful that I can share a little bit about my journey and also where I have arrived. People are fascinating. We are God's beautiful creation, and we are drawn when we look at a person's face. We are drawn to that face. Normally, everything around that person basically takes a back seat, and we are drawn to a person's face. Or if it's a family, we are drawn to specific people in the family. So I love doing faces. I have tried other scenic kinds of artwork too, and it's all fun. But recently, this has been become more of my journey, and I think that one of the things that drew me to writing this particular chapter had to do with arriving at a convergence of two paths. I wear two hats. One is that of a life coach, and then the other is that of an artist. And the convergence is taking place because I am beginning to recognize that more and more there is a companion, there is the working of God's Spirit in me that begins to prompt me as to what I am listening to or the person I'm trying to draw. Um, and in that conversation, it becomes a conversation between the person I'm talking to, myself, and then God's presence. And God begins to highlight certain things about that conversation that's taking place. So whether it's a conversation around a life issue or if it is an artwork that I'm doing, there is this continual input that is being brought in by God Himself. And to me, that has added another dimension to the work that is being put in progress. And so that's what I'm writing about in my chapter. It's called Walking Behind Jesus, and it's the art of listening and trusting God. And many times, as we are doing that, as I'm doing that, uh, there comes to be certain insights that appear that I would not have thought for myself, and that's the exciting part. And same thing with the artwork. There comes a certain depth to the work, and it's just exciting to watch. And then it begins to speak something to that person whom I'm painting, and or the home that that painting is going to go into. And I'm grateful that there is that third dimension that begins to appear. And that's what I'm writing about in my chapter.
Oh, thank you so much, Tim. That's really lovely. And it's so true. You know, we have an Australian artist that I often watch him on ABC, and he'll interview a person, and while he's interviewing them, he's painting their portrait. And there's so when I look at your work, I see the person and something behind them, and I really believe, you know, that's something that God's really developing in you. So thank you so much, Tim. And it was just a privilege to have you share a little snippet. You know, folks, each one of my authors will be given their own show, but I love that we're all on here together sharing a little snippet of who we are and where we're from. So I'd like to invite Sarah now to come up and chat with you all. Sarah is my beautiful New Zealand friend, and she is very busy lady, and she's very multi-talented and creative. Welcome, Sarah.
Yeah, g'day, mate. How you going?
She likes to stir because I'm in Australia and she's in New Zealand, so we have a bit of a banter that goes on between us. I'm real good, mate. How are you?
You kind of got to swallow the vowels a little more. And so, yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
Well, you'll have to give me some lessons, won't you, Sarah? Because I'm a bit more broad in how, if you're going to ask me to talk like a real Aussie.
Thanks so much for having me, Carmel. It's an absolute privilege to be here. Thank you, and welcome to all your listeners. My name is Sarah McCall. I'm most commonly referred to as Granny Mac. What were the questions again? Oh, yeah.
What are you sharing in our book, and a little glimpse of who you are and what you're about?
So the little glimpse about me is like Deanne, I'm a musician. I'm also somebody who takes great delight in mimicking others for comedic effect. Hence the, yeah, how's it going, mate? Yeah, she's all good. Yeah. That I have banter with Carmel. I'm currently playing the lead in a role called Act Your Age, and in that show, I have to be terribly proper and speak like an English lady of great breeding and so on. So I speak quite differently in that. It's extraordinary fun. It's just delightful, I tell you. Anyway, so as you can tell, I do have a lot of fun. I delight in things that perhaps people aren't. You know, they sort of look at things, oh, yeah, that's fine. And then I look at things and go, actually, you know, so this morning we were out on the bus. I drive a school bus, and I asked one of the girls who was sitting up the front, I said to her, look, can you take some photographs? And she's like, why do you need photographs? And I said, because I just love the way the world changes. I love the sunrises, and at the moment we've got hoarfrosts, which means that everything is frozen and it's got water inside the frost. So it's extraordinarily, exquisitely beautiful. Tim, you'd absolutely love it. It's just amazing. And I really delight in that. I am writing a story, or I have written a chapter called A Blank Page. And it's the crippling, gripping fear that comes with looking at that blank page or a fresh page and not quite knowing where to start. And yeah, so I do look at the world a little differently. My alter ego is Granny Mac, and so Cecil and I, who is my co-host, Cecil and I, we go around the country, and we're also international, and we work with mental health for young people and their families. We ask questions, and we figure out, you know, what the next life best forward action is for people. So we engage with them where they're at. We empower them in their decision making, and we enable them to make well thought out, robustly reviewed, family reviewed decisions that everybody can live with. And so no matter what's going on, it's might be pretty awful in the moment, but actually it'll be okay in the long run. And we just have to figure out what the best kind of support that a person might need at that time is. My own journey is that, you know, I apparently deal with fears that are common to everybody. Who knew? And I have an inquisitive mind. I'll sit back and think about things, or somebody might say something and that'll spark off another conversation. I have ADHD, which I've just recently found out. And so that explains my amazingly creative, wonderful brain, which I'm very, very grateful for. And my quirky sense of humor, and the comments that'll probably stop a Mack truck in its in its track at times, because I have questions that come way out of left field, which seem to me to make sense. I don't think in a logical, linear fashion. That doesn't mean that I don't have something of value to bring. It simply means that I do things a little bit differently, and that adds value to the group as a whole. So I think that's me in a nutshell, hopefully.
Thank you, Sarah. You know, folks, you might notice that Sarah has beautiful purple mauve glasses and I have blue grey glasses. We both wear Erlen lenses. So Sarah and I are so much alike. So some of you might think, what is this woman saying or thinking or doing? Because, you know, I do. I'm so much like Sarah. I'll ask questions and say things, and people look at me and go, what? Or you didn't spell that right. What are you talking about? But God knows what I'm talking about. Sarah often knows what I'm talking about, because you know we're all unique, we're all created uniquely, and that's what I love too. You know, Tim gets somebody's face and he does their portrait and he looks at their personality and their uniqueness and how God created them. And you know, Sarah goes about with her beautiful little Lammy host, and she helps children and families in situations where they're you know, not coping, and she helps them on that journey. And you know, that's what I do as well. You know, for 30 years I've been having women come into my home and families come into my home and children, and helping them when they've been in a really difficult situation and get them back onto a safe harbor and send them on their way. And then God would bring in another family or another lot of children, because, you know, I've done multiple years of working in childcare as well as, you know, helping women with their children in their homes. So, you know, we all have different talents, and, you know, we're multi-talented in so many areas and so many facets. So thank you, Sarah. You know, there's that real kindred spirit, because, you know, you're just across the ditch and you love to stir me up, and I enjoy that as well. So, and, you know, Sarah already is a published author, and I was such a thrill that she wanted to join us in this book, because, you know, we are all individual and different and unique, but I do believe that each person in our book, we all come together and join together as friends, and it's just been such a great journey. So I'm going to invite Deanne now up onto the stage and say welcome, Deanne, for all the way from Canada. It's night time there for her, and it's morning here for us here in Australia. Welcome, Deanne.
Thank you. So glad to be here. Yes, it is actually, I'm just looking at the clock here, 20 of 10 in Atlantic Canada. And just very grateful to be a part of this project. And yeah, so just going into the theme of what everybody is touching upon. Um, I am a vocal instructor at this point in life, but I spent a good 25 to 30 years of that life touring on stage and performing and recording and being on radio, and even had a video spin on MTV for a while back in the 90s, and been a voting member of the Recording Academy, going to the Grammys, and just been able to, in my previous life, hobnob with that kind of crowd. And it was a lot of fun. But I, about 10 years ago, decided that, you know, it was kind of, I've been a saved Christian a long time, but the, you know, the lifestyle that I was in wasn't necessarily as Christian as I wanted to portray. And so I decided to walk from that, but I still now continue to record and do writings. In fact, the little art that I shared in the book is a poem, but it's actually a lyric to a song that I'm also in the process of composing, and it's brand new and it's never been heard. So that's one of my gifts there, but I'm pretty excited about that. But in the book, I touch upon how I was, you know, I grew up very awkward, natural redhead. People ridiculed me, made fun of me, and you know, I just felt always, you know, like what? I didn't do nothing. What's wrong with me? You know what I mean? But I don't care. It was never like boo hoo. It was just like, you don't need you anyway. I'm just gonna go out here and hang out by myself and go climb a tree and, you know, write some poems. And I can remember even, you know, when I was in my, you know, maybe 10 or 11, just being up in a tree and writing about God's beauty and nature's tranquility, and just, just tapping into that creative side. And as I went through life a little bit, I think I lost a little bit of that. And I think that who God calls us in our teens, and what he's creating us to be, is who we really are. And the world kind of beats us down and tries to break us from who we are, and make us try to live our lives for other people. And not that we're not supposed to be giving and love, and like, but we are supposed to not live as people pleasers. We're supposed to be true to ourselves, and be so happy, hopefully within, or just at least peace within, that we can share that with others, and then that grows, comes back to us. So I just I love that God gifted me. I did hone it. You can hone it. You can hone talent. But it is, to some extent, a gift, that our creative spirit, I believe. And I've just been blessed to be able to tap in like that, and I like to teach others to tap in, because God commands us to sing. We're supposed to sing praises to him. It's not just an option. We're supposed to sing praises, and admonish one another with psalms and hymns, and so I why not sound good doing it? We all can sound
Absolutely,
good.
Deanne. Absolutely. Deanne, for many years, was part of the choir at church. I've led praise and worship. I actually have my mother's choir voice. So when I sing, people go, "What are you doing in the audience? You should be on the stage." And I go, "Oh, it's just my mum's church voice that I was blessed with. And I've done a lot of drama and a lot of stage things as well. So, that's the beauty, isn't it? We just use our talents that God has given us. And, it's through him that we shine. And he's the one who gifts us with our hair, our looks, our beauty, our strengths, our talents. And isn't it wonderful that we can all come together as, a family, friends, and be able to write our stories and encourage others along the way. So yeah, I'm really excited that you're with us, Deanne. She came in, at the last hour, but I already knew that she was meant to be part of us. So I'm really excited that she's here, and she's got lots to give and lots of input. And so, Deanne is very creative, very vibrant, and it's lovely to have you here as well, Deanne. Thank you so much. So we're going to go to Dorease now. Sweet Dorease. So Dorease is just the most caring, sweet person that you can meet. She loves to be with her animals. She loves to be with family. She loves to be out in the fields with her horses and her camera. So welcome, Dorease.
Thank you, Carmel. It is such a blessing to be here and to be a part of this book. I know I've said this several times, but when you think about all of the book opportunities that are out there anywhere, to be involved with a book that's for writers, that's for people that know they were born as creatives, they have some kind of gift for visual art, and that love the Lord as well. I mean, to all be in the same book, to be in one book together, that is pretty remarkable. So that the Lord used you to be the visionary for a book like this, I just think it's remarkable. And I feel so humbled and grateful to get to be a part of a book like this. So thank you, Carmel. I appreciate it. And so far, I can relate to every single person who has been. I can relate to Tim when I think about co-creating with God, and how that when I am out with my camera or with anything that I'm doing that has a creative bent to it, that I can co-create and I can have the praises of the Lord on my lips, and I can just rejoice in him, and that Elohim, the creator himself, meets me there. He wants me to praise and rejoice in him because I marvel over things so easily. The littlest things that most people would just overlook and walk on past. I get so excited about it. And I take pictures of it and I just praise God for it. So I marvel and live with a lot of amazement because I don't tend to overlook very much. I tend to rejoice in all the blessings that are around me. And I relate with Miss Sarah, Granny Mac, because of the theater background. Oh my goodness, musical theater, singing as a vocalist at ingenue, and I'm really good about scenic set design, the whole thing. But I think a lot of times these visual, artistic giftings that we have, they tend to overlap, especially when you think about scenic set design, when you think about interior design and decorating, when you think about landscaping, when you think about photography or painting on canvas, you know, put it where you put the paint and the medium on the canvas, for example. So I think all five of those things just overlap beautifully. And if you're good at one, if you would step out in faith and try to exercise using that same gift over in one of the others, it probably would come naturally for you. At least the composition part would come naturally and easily for you. And my mother's always been an interior designer, decorator. That's the way she made her living. And but I'll hand her a camera every now and then. I'll say, Mama, just take a picture of us for a few minutes. She doesn't want to do it, but she knows where to put everything and immediately inside the frame. She knows exactly what to do, but she just doesn't know how to do the camera, the equipment itself. So it's just kind of funny how that does overlap. But I just wanted to share too with Deanne that I've been singing since I was a little girl. I was a very trained vocalist. So I want to say that even though the talent was there, like you, I had to hone it. And I went through a lot of voice coaches over many, many years, decades actually, spent a lot of money, and it cost a lot, but I had to vocalize a minimum of 90 minutes a day. And about 10 years ago, because I was in hotel rooms all the time, you can't vocalize in a hotel room. So do you know that I don't consider myself a vocalist anymore? Even though I can still sing and I carry a good tune, because I can't vocalize, I can now, but I don't want to go back under all that pressure anymore. But I will just say that this has been such a joy in this chapter to just pour out my heart and soul. It has been a joy, a joy. I needed 5, 6, 7,000 words, didn't I, Carmel? Because I had so much to say. I got so excited. And the hard part of this chapter was backing off and knowing what to cut out and what to act. That was really hard. And I would grieve because I'd poured my heart into it. So I'd have to grieve when I cut parts out. But you got to do it, right? So thankfully, Carmel and Stephanie were right there with me, holding my hand, reassuring me, coaching me, and going, you know what? Go ahead and leave that. No, let's just deal with this, put this over in another place because you need to use this somewhere someday. So it's been a joy and a wonderful learning experience. So thank you for this privilege.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's right. You know, it's interesting. I shared with some of you before everyone came on camera and we started recording for this show that, you know, we have an order for each chapter to be in the book, and I actually have put Dorease after mine because she's a fellow photographer, and you know, what I share flows into what she's saying, and then what someone else shares flows into what they're saying, and you know, what Tim shares flows into what Deanne is saying. So, you know, this book has just been ordained by someone much greater than me, a loving father who just loves each one of us. And he's brought all of us together as friends and form this community of friendship. And so thank you so much, Dorease, for sharing. Hi, Gushiv. We see that you're driving in a car, going all over the place there, but welcome. I'm just actually going to invite LaTrina up onto the stage now and say welcome and thank you for joining us this morning.
Hello, all. Just to follow the protocol as everybody else. I'm LaTrina, and I'm going to, in the book, I'm sharing about, well, we all know that stress is inevitable. It's going to happen. Life stress, situational stress. It's just a life experience that we're all going to experience. But how we handle it is paramount, and it can drive us either way, either positively or negatively. But what I learned as a poet and a floral artist is that I can use my creativity not only to relieve my stress, but also to bless someone else and ultimately glorify God, which is the scripture declares that what all we say and do, let it be done to his glory. When I create floral arrangements, it started as a stress reliever for myself on my journey as a woman that is infertile. So it started that way. But the thing is, I don't use real flowers. The idea came to me to use faux flowers because they don't die. And each one that I make is unique. I never make the same one twice. And so it started to be just something for me to help me on my journey to heal. But as I made them or made them for someone else, it still helped me on my journey, but it, just was bringing, beauty to someone else. But in that, I found that when I make a floral arrangement or when I write a poem, it just will pop up out of my my spirit, a certain word, and I'll just kind of jot the word down, or a phrase will come to mind and I'll just kind of jot it down, is that God has given me those things and to embrace them. What I want to say in my chapter is for people to embrace whatever their creativity is. Maybe they're not a painter, or maybe they garden, or maybe they are not a photographer, but they love to cook. Whatever their creative outlet is, it's God-given. And to embrace it, and Deanne said to hone it. I would say to embrace it and exercise it, to use it and let it be used to his glory.
Thank you, LaTrina. That's beautiful. You know, folks, I interviewed LaTrina. I'm sorry, sister. I know I say it wrong all the time. You are so gracious. I interviewed our dear sister in my first episode of The Thriving Woman. So, go back and catch that. It was a wonderful, heartfelt conversation that we shared about things that we both have walked through in life, and know that our children are in heaven waiting for us to come to them one day. And through our experiences in life, she has taken up doing her beautiful floral work, and I've used all my creativity as well to hone into different areas or develop different areas. So thank you so much. I'm going to bring Gushy up now because she is in her husband's car and they're off today on an adventure. So welcome, Gushy, to the stage.
Hi guys, how are you? Hi, beautiful author, and so blessed to just be part of this journey. I'm so blessed. God is so gracious, and just it's a dream come true as well, that able to God's been asking me to do that, write the journey and telling people about how God can brought people from even in the entertainment industry to the film industry, in the fashion industry. I guess, you know, it's not easy field that you want to go in as a Christian, or even you want to stay true to yourself, you know. And you know, as a woman as well, it's not as easy as well, you know, everyone looking at you, you know, like, you know, a piece of meat maybe that can or cannot, you know, or maybe for me, I'm sort of so this journey to share is sort of saying that we don't need to sell our soul to the devil to gain the flame, the title, the recognition from the world, you know, because sometimes, yes, lots of people really want to get that reputations of who you are, you know, in the industry, and you know, you need to sell your soul in the sense of you know, dinner with this, go out with this, or get engaged with that, you know. So I guess the book is about sharing to that God, you know, God give me that wisdom, even though I'm quite young, you know, like 22, 24, that stay true to myself, you know, stay true to myself, you know. You don't need to, you know, go out with a director from Hollywood telling you that, you know, you're going to work big films, or you don't need to go out with the actor try to offer you stuff. So it's a big it's a huge temptation. So it's, you know, just you know, I just said to my boss, I just want to do my job. I just want to do makeup. I want to do styling. I do styling for, like, you know, Channel V, production for advertising. I do makeup for Kelly Rowland, Michael Bublé, Steven Seagal movie. And I just, you know, they all try to offer me, like, oh, you can come with me to do even bigger project, you know, you can be my assistant, you can do this, you can do that. But maybe you have to give me something else. I was like, So I was like, just like, oh, come on. So of course I can't just say, oh, you know,
Yep. You're not going to do that. You know, that's what I love about Gushiv. She's kept herself pure. She's kept herself, you know, she has a beautiful husband now and her little boy. She's producing her own beautiful skincare, which I'm using now, folks. It's beautiful in this winter moisturizing weather that we are here in Australia. She lives up further where it's a little bit warmer than down here on the coast. But it's just so lovely, and there's so many things, you know, that she has to share for young people, for older people, that you really, you know, you can pursue your dreams. You can be on the global stage dealing with actors and everyone, but you can still keep your heart pure, your body pure, and do those things that are honoring and be your unique self. So thank you so much, sister. It's just a pleasure to have you on. I know that you're traveling to an important event now, and it's lovely that you came on. So I really appreciate that. So we're just going to be finishing up shortly, but last but not absolutely least, I'm going to invite beautiful Stephaine onto the stage. Thank you, Stephaine.
Okay, there we go. Yes, hi. So I feel so excited to get to see the face and hear the voices that I read in the chapters. So I actually have had the privilege of reading everybody's chapters at this point, and I might get emotional. I'm sorry about this. I feel like I hear your words on the paper, but then I see your enthusiasm, I see your passion, and I see your story just come to life. And it's so exciting. And I feel like that's the power of the artist tape, and that's the power of the book that we have, because it really is, we're sharing our stories, we're sharing our heart. We're not just putting words on the page, but we're sharing who we were and what we do and how we have embraced our creativity, how we've embraced our artistic freedom. So I'm just thrilled and I'm so excited. And like I said, it's so exciting to sit here and be like, yes, I can see that she would write that because like she just said that. So thank you. As for me, I am and here's a long list, a spiritual growth writing coach, an editor, an author, a speaker, and a mom, business owner, but most importantly, I'm just a daughter of God and I'm just trying to do the right thing. I'm just trying to be obedient in what he has for me. My chapter is called The Black Crayon. And it is talking a little bit about how we use coloring and how we use color to express how we feel. And it also talks a little bit about not only are we creating for ourselves, not only are we embracing artistic expression and using our creativity not as an end goal, but as just a process, but we are also being able to model that creativity and model that creative mindset for the future generations. I have 3 young children, and I cannot tell you how much it delights me to actually sit there and start journaling and start writing. And my 5-year-old comes up, Mommy, I want to write too. Mommy, I want to journal too. Or I have all of the pictures that they have ever made me. And they're not even that old, you guys, but like I have all of their doodles that they've made. It's so exciting because we ultimately can create and ultimately express ourselves through our art, through our color, through our words, through our photography, through our floral arrangements, through our music. And that is our true innate God-given ability because we have that Holy Spirit inside of us. So that really is kind of a small clip of what my chapter is talking about. It's not even looking at writing and being creative for us, but just the impact and the ripple effect that us modeling that creativity and us embracing that creativity, even against the world that tells us, oh, you want to be an artist? Good luck with that, and all the stereotypes that go with that. It really is just about embracing it, harnessing it. I will go even more specifically, not even hone it, not even just harness that and then live it out to the full potential.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie. And you know what, folks? I'm the lead author, and how blessed am I to have all these. This is only just a third of us chatting here today on my show. And, I share about turning the negative into a positive. And I share a little glimpse about growing up as a creative, having to overcome with my dyslexia, with my different things that I've had in my life as well, a little glimpse of that. And, and I really just love that each author has something to give to the table. Each creative has something to give. And that we've all come together as a team. We've all come together as friends. And, it's just been such a privilege to have all of you on with me today. And I'm so thrilled, that when this episode goes up in the next week or so, that we can share this with our friends and that we've been able to come together and be able to share a little glimpse of who we are, let people see us, let people know that we're asking for your support. We're first buying our ebooks so that we can launch to #1 international best-selling authors for this book, The Artist Haven, as well as, buying our paperback, and each one of the authors are going to do their own launches as well. You'll be able to get an autographed copy of their books from them too. So it's just so exciting. And, I've just been so blessed with the input that each one of you have given to the book, your energy, your enthusiasm, your heart, your beautiful work. We actually will be featuring poems and artwork and photography in our book. So it's just jam-packed with so much creativity. And, like Stephanie, being the lead author and the visionary, I've had the privilege to read everybody's chapters as well and do reviews on them. And I just feel so blessed that we're all here together and that, this will be going up on my podcast show The Thriving Woman and on YouTube. So there's a few different places for you all to catch it. So for now, I'm going to say I'll see you all in another episode. God bless you all for now. Thank you. Bye. Say bye, everyone. And we'll see you again. Bye.